Hello, everybody. So here we are. This is Simple Steps to Prosperity, the last appointment for 2015. And we celebrate the end of this year and the beginning of the new year with a superwoman, Nefertite Nguvu. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, Nefertite.
Hi.
Hi. And Quetta Loki is with us too.
Hello.
Hello. We will be speaking about a very interesting topic. You know, many people ask me if, I could help find information. I didn't know much about it. It's crowdfunding, an interesting way to fund your products, projects and ideas, and I have discovered that you, Nefertiti, have quite an experience with that.
Double down on it, yes.
So before we go on with the questions that I would like to ask you, I would like to introduce you to our audience. So Nefertiti is a graduate of New York's School of Visual Arts. I have my notes, so I'm reading. And her thesis project for her final dissertation won the award of Outstanding Screenplay. And she has a company, Hollywood Africans, in the States, and she has written, produced, and directed two short films, I Want You in 2007 and The End of Winter in 2009, and both of which screened at numerous film festivals. And she has also directed a 10-part web series entitled The Road to Unity, which chronicles the life of 5 aspiring female emcees, handpicked by and featuring Queen Latifah for CoverGirl and Flavor Unit Entertainment. And then finally, In the Morning, her baby, as she calls it, a beautiful film. We will be speaking about that at the end of the interview too, that I have watched, and it's really, really beautiful. And and you wrote, directed, and now you are producing the film too. And Quetta, I introduce you to. She's a long-time event and marketing consultant, and she's been working closely with Nefertiti in the promotion of her debut feature film, In the Morning. So thank you for being with me and with our audience. And so, as I said, you have quite an experience in crowdfunding, and you have run 2 successful crowdfunding campaigns. What was the #1 reason why you decided to resort to this tool to find your projects?
Well, the primary reason that I decided to turn to crowdfunding was because I wanted to make In the Morning. I had been applying for grants and all types of things and just had no success in that route. And I knew that it was a film that people wanted to see, that there are so many people who would love to see films about Black folks that have a lot more layered, just character-driven stories, and it's not something that I felt like was going to be able to happen without the support of my community. So I decided to stop going to outside sources and to turn directly to my community and ask them to greenlight the making of In the Morning, and happily they did.
In my research about crowdfunding, I discovered that there are many platforms that you can use. What criteria did you use to choose the platform that you finally decided to go for?
When we initially did, Kickstarter was relatively new during the first campaign for In the Morning. I liked the layout of it. I loved the all or nothing aspect of it, because I think, it kind of adds a sense of urgency that, you have a specific amount of time to raise the money, and knowing, people who give to the campaign, knowing that it is all or nothing, it kind of, it helps the spirit of the community that you're building. It gets more people engaged, and so people who have given, it makes them, I think, more engaged in the process and helping to see you get to your goal, because they don't want to see the project fail. And I think the philosophy of the all or nothing really kind of helps with that.
Many people think that running a crowdfunding campaign means that you put, some information about the product or the service or the project, you put it together, and then you push a button and you start seeing money miraculously.
Oh, how I wish.
It's a full-time job, isn't it? And for quite a long period of time. So what was your experience? And maybe Quetta, I know that you supported.
Yeah, Quetta can speak to this, because she actually was considerably active during our campaign, so she can take the reins.
Well, wait a minute. Well, what was the question? The question was, what do you have to do besides press a button and wait for the money?
Yeah, the question was, I wish we could do that, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort and commitment, and it takes some time too. It's a full-time job for quite a period of time.
Well, I would say that it's more than a full-time job. If a full-time job is a 40-hour week and an 8-hour workday, it's more than a full-time job, because you really have to be at a high level of engagement and passion yourself in order to inspire and empower your community to come and support. So that means that you're always on 100 and always thinking of more compelling ways to tell stories via whatever platforms you're using. And yes, you do need to use all of the platforms. Everything that you can think of that you use currently, you should be using to reach out to your audience. So from email campaigns, using newsletters, to the actual platform for the crowdfunding platform, and of course social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you find your audience is where you should be. And you have to engage them probably minimum 2 to 3 times per day with some compelling content. And in order to generate compelling content 2 to 3 times per day, there's a lot of the back of the scenes work that has to happen to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nefertiti, you run 2 different campaigns. Did you use the same platform or a different platform?
I used Kickstarter both times. I did indeed. Yes.
And between the first and the second time, can you say that you had different experiences? You did things in a different way?
Well, the first time I did it, I was new to crowdfunding, so of course there's a huge learning curve the first time around. I had no idea, just like with everything practically within the morning, I really had no idea the first time out how difficult the fundraising campaign was going to be, how demanding it was going to be going into it. But it's been trial by fire, and one of the things that it's forced us to do in such a beautiful way is to be engaged with an audience. It's like, the first Kickstarter campaign was before the film existed. It was before we had shot a frame of the film. It was to raise funds in order to make it. So you really have to convince people that your idea is worthwhile. You know what I mean? And so that was really, we had to be on it like every single day. But, the second Kickstarter campaign was for distribution. And so it was still challenging, but at the end of the day, we already had made the film, so that there was a lot more content we can pull from the film that already, that we made, that existed, that we promised that we would make. We were able to deliver on the promise, and so it was, easier in some respects, just in terms of coming up with content, because it's not like you're just like, okay, this is my idea, this is what I hope it's going to look like, this is what I hope it's going to feel like. It's like, this is the film that we made, this is how audience have responded to it, these are the reviews that we've gotten, this is what our audience has said when they come see it. So there's just a lot more to pull from. We can pull from the amazing stills that our cinematographer Arthur Jaffa shot, and we can pull from the script that existed and have little clips of our cast members. And so it was just a lot more content we were able to pull from. It was still challenging, though, like to every single day be able to come up with new. And Quetta knows this. She was just I'm surprised she's still friends with me. Poor thing.
But actually, I would add to that, because there was a lot of content that already existed with the film, with photography, there was so much. Not to mention, Neff has been on a world tour of film festivals for the last year. So there were many awards. There were many film clips we could use. There was a lot of content. But I think what was interesting to me in going through this process is seeing how, even with something like a Kickstarter campaign, Neff is a storyteller by trade, clearly. She's a filmmaker, and that she still used those same narratives to tell the story via the various content distribution platforms we use. That there was still always a narrative. It wasn't that we were just throwing up content 2 to 3 times a day. It was all part of an ongoing narrative that she has with her audience. And it was really interesting to watch that.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you a question, but then you mentioned storytelling, so I will ask you another question.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, you're a filmmaker, and I imagine that storytelling is something natural for you. It comes up naturally. But how important is it for any product, any service, any idea, any project to be able to tell a story, taking advantage of all this technology and tools that we have available today?
I think it's essential. I think for any medium, not just film, people buy into ideas more so than they buy into the actual thing. I mean, you look at the companies that have been most successful in the last, like Mac, Apple, it's the ideas of these. It's like what people can create, the ideas that they spark in you more so than the actual thing. And I think another thing that was really important during our campaign, that, it was something that, for me and for all of us working on it, it was bigger than just our film. It was the idea that films like ours should be able to exist. And there is no medium right now which makes it easy for storytellers like me to create work and to be able to connect that work with its audiences. So beyond In the Morning, our campaign was really about creating something that would make a way for other storytellers like me to, connect our films with our audience.
Yeah. And if I had to, resort to crowdfunding today for my project, what would be the necessary steps that I need to take before actually launching the crowdfunding campaign?
I think one of the first things that is essential is really finding your audience, finding your community, and being, you can't just like pop up like, hey, everybody, give me money, you know what I mean? It's just like you have to be engaged with people far before you decide to crowdfund. It was like one of the things I think that made both of our campaigns successful is like, it's not just me. There's so many people from my community who took this very personally, who took it as personally as I did, who reached out to their friends and made sure that our message reach broader people because they felt connected to our story. They felt connected to the film. They felt connected to the ideas. And so I think finding your audience, finding the people your tribe is essential before you decide to launch your crowdfunding campaign. You need to be engaged with your community, and your ideas need to, I feel for me, resonate beyond what your lane is. You know what I mean? It's just like, if this was just about me making a film, I would have given up a long time ago, because it's hard. But it's like the larger ideals. The reason why I do this is what gets me out of bed in the morning. Not being able to say that I made a film. It's like to be able to force a way for storytellers like me to exist is what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Can I also add to that, Paola, that when we talk about, you know, what are the necessary steps, I think what Nefertiti just said, absolutely important. But to be honest, I think the first step is that you have to get over your inhibition of asking people for support, and specifically money. That is not easy at all, and everyone, many people have a big inhibition against talking about money, against asking someone for money or for support in any way. And I think that that's something that people probably don't think about when they first approach a crowdfunding, because you can't be subtle. You have to ask for the money.
Right.
There is nothing subtle about it.
That's really, it is hard, and you're right about that. And it's something that I still, 2 campaigns in, struggled with, of, you know what I mean, being able to like humble yourself, or to be able to think about it in, you know, other terms, and not just like, you know, getting caught up and feeling like you're just asking people for money all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I think there are 3 phases that we can distinguish: the pre-campaign, during the campaign, and post-campaign. So what do you need, the, you know, key ingredients during the campaign itself?
You know, I think during, and Quetta, I think, can speak to this as well, it's, again, it's the content. It's being able to stay engaged with your audience. It's being able to find ways to expand your message, to expand your voice, to just reach, you know, a broader audience. And so that takes a daily commitment, and it takes a long commitment, because it's like, it's not about conceiving of, you know, some, you know, content. It's sitting at your computer, sending out emails, it's being on the phone, sending out texts, reminding people, you know what I mean? So it really is just about, I think, as much as you can plan in advance those things, your content, get your email list ready, all the people that you feel like, you know, are in your corner that you want to reach out to, as much as you can plan in advance, you should, because once it gets going, it's like, it's nonstop.
No, it's a roller coaster, definitely. But what you should do is to understand, for the life of that campaign, that that's what you are focused on, that you can't have other important things happening at the same time. It does need all of your attention daily.
Totally focused on the campaign itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I say focused, I mean 8 hours a day focused. Focus.
And how long does it take, you know, from, well, I imagine there is a lot of preparation that you have to do before you actually start the campaign. So how long does it take from, you know, the beginning, when you start to put all the information together, up to, you know, the campaign actually running and then closing the campaign? So how long does it take on average?
You know, I think it varies. For us, I think I started thinking about doing the campaign, or I decided to do it a couple months before we did it. And, you know, I planned as much as I could. You know, you have to make the time to actually shoot the campaign video, took the time to actually write the written portion of our campaign, which I think was very important, because, you know, even when we were fortunate enough to get press for the campaign, a lot of the press would just pull things directly from our written statements, you know, so you want to make sure that your ideas and your vision are really strong in your video and in your written statement, because those are things that people look to. So that, I think, took a lot of time in the preparation, and also, as much as we planned, you know, we had ideas, it's still, you know, you have to hit the ground running, and once you start, some things work better than others. You know, you notice, like, these types of images get more of a response, or the videos became really a lot more popular than we anticipated. So it was like trying to get new video content, you know what I mean? And so you just really have to be flexible, and you have to be willing, ready, and able to work really hard, and to be very adaptable, and to see it through to the end.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, so you find your audience, you find the donors, and I imagine that, you know, they give you money and they expect something in exchange. So you give them rewards. How can you choose these perks or rewards according to the amount that they donate to you?
Well, I think one very important thing is you want to make sure that the rewards that you're offering aren't going to eat up a large amount of the money that's being donated, because then it defeats the whole purpose of doing a crowdfunding campaign if you spent 95% of it fulfilling rewards, you know what I mean? And so you want to make sure that you're offering rewards that aren't going to eat up a large amount of the donation. I think that's one of the first and foremost. And then also it's like you want to offer things that are going to be fun and engaging, but that are also going to continue, you know, drilling home like who you are and what you're representing to your audience. So our most popular thing that we offered was our Brooklyn Mrs. Brooklyn t-shirt. People, like, that was the reward tier that we got most. And so you want to, and that's something I do because I have donated to a lot of crowdfunding campaigns. It's funny, it's like one person who reached out to me about donating. They said they had read about it online and went to my Kickstarter campaign page, and what sold them was the fact that they went to my campaign page and saw that I backed like so many other projects, and it just kind of said a lot to them about who I was. And it's just like, I don't just believe in these things when it comes to me and my own work. I do support a lot of Kickstarter campaigns, a lot of Indiegogo campaigns. I have so many filmmaker friends who are so talented that I want to see succeed as well, so I put my money where my mouth is. But I do love when they offer things that are fun, you know, that keep you engaged, that keep you excited about the project. So I think that's important too. So like whatever it is that you're crowdfunding for, it's like if you can conceive of gifts that will keep people excited, that will help, you know, give people the means to represent the film still after the campaign is over, that'll be a conversation piece or something that they can hold on to, you know, that will forever represent your film. And so that's one of the things that was super important to me. It's like, okay, I don't just want the t-shirt to be just a random corny t-shirt. Is representing the film, so it has to be stylish, it has to be beautiful, it has to look like, you know, something one of our characters would wear. And I think those things are important.
Yeah. Now you've completed your campaign, and I imagine that your donors would like, you know, to be informed about the progress of the project. So how do you keep them informed and engaged after the completion of a campaign?
So during the campaign and after the campaign, we do updates to all of our donors and just kind of let them know where we are, like what new press we've gotten or new screenings or things like that. And so it really is, you know, because actually after we did our first Kickstarter campaign, it was in 2011, and The Morning wasn't completed until 2014. It took me much longer than I thought that it was going to take to finish the film, and so you have to, you know, I kept everyone aware of like where we were, like what part of post-production we were in, what the holdups were, like what, you know what I mean? And then it's like, once it was finally finished and we were accepted into our first festival, you know, have to let people know then, like, okay, we're premiering in Urban World in New York City, and let them know all the other screenings that are coming up. So it is really fun because, you know, people want to see you succeed. They want to feel like they bet on, you know, a winning team, and so it's important to let them know your progress, let them know like what the film is, where it's going to be showing, what, you know, just what you are experiencing with it, with your audience members and all those things. I think it helps people to feel, you know, engaged in something that they believed in.
Let's now speak about your film. I know that you were awarded, you received several awards. the Urban World Film Festival in New York,
Yes.
correct? And
that was our premiere. That was awesome. Yes.
yes.
That was amazing.
And then in Philadelphia, the Black Star Film Festival. And you also received an award here in Italy, at
Yes.
as the best international film. Woo! So tell us something about the film, and of course where people can see the trailer in the meantime, and when can we expect to see the film?
Yeah, so the trailer can be viewed on our website, which is www.inthemorning-thefilm.com, and you can see the trailer and read all about our press and just kind of like our journey so far there. We're also on Facebook. You can like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter. I think, we'll put all this information in the Google chat. We're at Hollywood Africans. And the Kickstarter we did was to raise funds to independently distribute the film. So now that was successful, we'll be releasing the film ourselves this coming spring. So it'll be available on video demand as well as in select theaters.
Yeah, and I hope that you will be also a guest to an event that we will have in 2000.
I hope so too. Listen, I am madly in love with Italy. So any old excuse to come back.
Yes, and we would love to, give the possibility to our audience to watch the film. So I really
incredible. I mean, we have subtitles. So we're working very hard at coming back to Italy.
We will do everything we can, Quetta, isn't it? We will do everything we can to bring you here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Nefertite, I would like you to tell our audience, yes, you mentioned the website where they can reach you and, receive all the information about the progress of the film.
Yes, and you can also, if you fill out our contact form on the website and give us your email address, you'll be added to our newsletter list that goes out that keeps people updated as to what's happening with the film. And there'll be a lot more updates coming as we, secure dates and further screenings. So please do join us online. I'm so excited about what is to come. This film, like I said, we did our first Kickstarter campaign in 2011. The film wasn't completed until 2014, and now in 2016 it'll finally be released. So this has been such an incredible journey for me. It's been like nothing that I could have imagined. Do you know what I mean? It's like nothing has happened the way that I imagined it would happen, but it's all been incredibly beautiful and incredibly worth, the struggle that it is, and all the victories have been so sweet because of how hard we've had to work to get the film, make the film exist, and then to fight to have it connect with its audience. So it's been incredible, and I hope people will continue to come on board our journey.
Yeah, and really I wish you all the best for the success of your film. As I said, I watched it, it's beautiful, and so you really deserve all the success for this film. I would like to know if there is any question about crowdfunding, about the film from our audience. I see that there are some people with us, and
oh, nice.
You can type the questions. There is a chat available, and so if you don't have any question now, you can write to us and to info@projectprosperity.com, writing crowdfunding as the subject, and of course I will forward the questions to Nefertite and I will put you in touch with her. This, I think, has been really a beautiful way to end 2015. With this idea of the possibility to turn your idea, your dream into a project, resorting to not an easy way, as we have heard, to collect funding, but certainly simple in principle. Asking money to your support community, your supportive community. And I think it's, also a nice way to begin 2016 for many people, knowing that there is the possibility to find the money to make your dreams and your projects come true. So with that, I would like to thank you all. Thank you, Nefertite, again for being with us. Thank you, Quetta. And I really wish you a stellar 2016.
Thank you so much.
And we hope to see you very soon here in Italy with your.
I hope so too. I'll be back, Italy.
We'll be waiting for you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for your time and for being with us.
Of course.
All right. Thank you all, and I will see you all in 2016.
Yes. Ciao.
Auguri. Auguri. Ciao.